welcome to another video on Raj's astrology. And today we're going to discuss the Saturn transit effects for the Scorpio moon sign. So if you have your moon in your Scorpio sign in your natal chart or your natal horoscope, so say if you have your, so I've taken a full moon for Scorpio today because there's some really good news for Scorpio coming on. So I just thought I'll put up a full moon for you. So Scorpio's a sign if the moon is in your natal in your natal chart is if it's in Scorpio, then this video is for you. So January 24th, 2020, Saturn is going to transit for Scorpio. So Saturn is currently sitting in Sagittarius, and on January 24th, 2020, it's going to transit to Capricorn. First thoughts on this. First of all, I would like to say congratulations, Scorpio folks, because you have completed your 7.5 years of Saturn, and that's not a mean achievement because you can be rest assured that you have completed a considerable part of your karma. Yeah, so I think you can all, Scorpio moon folks or Scorpio sign folks, you can breathe a sigh of relief and congrats on completing your 7.5 years of Saturn because the trials and tribulations which you have undergone for the past 7.5 years would have been really tough. And also, your Jupiter transits were also not good for the past 2 years. And you had a very awesome and a sumptuous transit of Jupiter. He came into your second house, and now on 24th, when Saturn moves to your third house, you can actually it's a time it's that time of the year where you need to be pretty optimistic. So during your Saturn transit, so you would see a glass and say it looks half empty, but now it's time to change the narrative, and you'll have to look at it as if it's half full because that's the flip in narrative and your optimistic feeling which you'll have to develop because it's not time for you to think cautiously or take one step at a time. It's This is a time to break out because Saturn generally would have made you very pessimistic and would have given you repeated failures or repeated tasks with no fruition in the last 7.5 years. But now it's like you have to hit the opportunity in order to break free from because you're out. Saturn is going to leave you by January 24th, and you have to change your mindset in such a way that you'll have to hit at all positive optimism. I mean, you got to really hit it hard. So that's the change in your mindset and your narrative, which you will have to take forward for this Saturn transit. Scorpio folks, you are going to take a narrative you're not going to take a half empty narrative, you're going to take a half full or a complete full. So, this is a narrative which you're going to focus, and this is where your mind or your moon has to be. Just be ensure, relax, and enjoy because there are good times coming in. Yep. So let's reap the good time which is coming in for Scorpio folks, especially with the Jupiter transit in November. So Jupiter has moved to your second house. So all the separations and all the fights which you have had with your family members during the 7.5 years of Saturn is going to change. So Jupiter in second house is a wonderful time for you to bond with your family and have a really good time with your loved ones. Also, Jupiter second house also signifies finance, and Jupiter entering into the second house would give you a great jump because the last two houses for Jupiter wouldn't have been that great for you for the last 2 years. So this Jupiter will actually, give it to you what all years held back for you. So this is a time to reap on the double bonuses of family and finance. So these were the two, areas which would have been hit for you during the 7.5 years of Saturn. So you'll see a jump in this now, and it's really a good time for you to, reap maximum of these benefits. This is the, the scenario which I want to present for Scorpio Moon folks. So let's discuss the Saturn movement to the third house. So Saturn is transiting to Capricorn. That's his own house, and Saturn transiting to Capricorn, he is very comfortably placed in his own house. And also, he's transiting to your third house from a moon. So, here's your moon sign. So, one, two, three. Here's where Saturn is going to stay for. Normally, he stays for 2.5 years, but this time he's going to stay for 3 years. So, we can look at least of 3 years of very good time for you with a wonderful Jupiter transit also looking as well. So, this is a house which Saturn is going to transit. Shani or Saturn is comfortably placed in the Bhava 3. So Bhava 3 is a natural Bhava of Mercury, and Saturn is neutral towards Mercury. So normally Saturn is comfortably placed, and the third house is the house of your one of the Karakas is communication. So there would be Shani's presence in your communication and how you express yourself. So normally it's going to be a slow, disciplined, and a proper approach towards your communication, because Shani likes, a slow, steady is one of his hallmarks. So that's the third house for you. And one of the important points of the third house is that it improves with time. So it's not just immediately you'll see the results, because the third house is called one of the Upachaya houses. So actually matters of Saturn in third house will slowly improve with time. So that's one karaka which your communication is going to be a little more disciplined with Saturn's presence, and how you present yourself. And third house is also courage. So Shani, gently, there is a limitation of your courage in terms of speaking out. So that's one thing which you will notice. The third house is also the house of your brothers and cousins. So that's one thing which that would be, a slow progress, or in case of interaction, there would be, it's not like because the results of Saturn are pretty slow. So you'll slowly notice differences, but also the third house is second from the second house. So all the family from the family, there would be benefits from your brothers and cousins. So that's the another important aspect of the third house. Also, one more thing which you might notice in terms of communication is the communication task is going to get a little more tougher for you, because you'll have to slowly write. There might be, extensive notes or extensive writing in terms of communication. There might be more work involved in communication, because Saturn likes to give a lot of hard work, and a lot of persistent effort is done. So these are some of the areas which constitute the third house. And also, as I said, courage is also signified by a third house. So these aspects, just notice how the pattern Saturn works. But normally Saturn is comfortably placed, so that's one good news. And you will slowly notice the a sense of relief going forward. So the drishti of Saturn, or Saturn's aspect, is going to your fifth house. So that's your one, two, three, four, five, fifth house from your moon. He's also looking at your ninth house. He's looking at your 12th house. So when he looks from the house of communication, courage, and brothers and sisters, and he's looking at these particular houses. So he's looking at first house is the fifth house. So the third eye aspect. I mean, the Saturn looking to your from himself, the third house, that is your fifth house from your moon. So generally, he tends to delay matters of the fifth house, because the Shani Drishti to your fifth house. Normally, Saturn, as I repeatedly say, slows things down. So you might notice delays in the fifth house matters. So there might be delays. So supposing in having children, that's one of the delays which you're going to be noticing on. So that's one of the points which I mentioned. Also, in terms of your creativity, your luck, your charm, there is going to be a little slowness in those aspects, because though Shani is good in the third house, still being Shani, he generally slows things down. His Graha Drishti to five, or his aspect to the the fifth house will delay these aspects. You might also have those lucky business deals, or your speculation. There might not be great profits, because he's looking into this fifth house. So that's one of the things which you might experience. But Jupiter being in the second house, that's one good advantage for you. So you have a backup actually running for you. Well, the next house which Saturn is going to aspect is your ninth house, and your ninth house is the house of your luck, your travel, maybe your religious inclination. Also, ninth house denotes basically, yeah. So basically, your luck, foreign travel, and father. These are the main indicators of the ninth house. So Saturn's this is a very subtle glance, so you might not notice it completely because it's a seventh house aspect and it's not this aspect is not that strong, but still there might be noticeable delays in terms of your luck, in terms of your foreign travel. There might be few arguments which you might come up with your father because he's looking from the house of communication. So that's one of the intended results of his aspect to your ninth house. And the last house which Saturn aspects is your 12th house. So 12th house of your losses, house of research, house of private space, foreign lands, all aspected by Shani. So it can also indicate for you if his Saturn is good and strong in your horoscope. He is also a natural benefic. And also the position of Saturn is very good in your horoscope. You might be lucky through your communication skills, you might land up for an opportunity. So that's one of the aspects of Saturn to the 12th house. And also there might be, in terms of communication losses, how it generally works out. You'll have to plan and chalk it out for this transit. And sort of the good news. So Jupiter, transit into your second house, very auspicious. Jupiter is great for family and finance, and from there, Jupiter looks at your sixth house, your eighth house, and your tenth house of your from your moon side. So Jupiter looking at your sixth house is going to be very fruitful for you because your sixth house is the house of your debts, enemies, and your diseases. And Jupiter being such a strong planet, make sure that you can win over your litigation. If you have any pending litigation, it's time to win over it. And nobody's going to harm you now because Jupiter is very strong. So you can rest assured you can have victory over your enemies, and you would be in a pretty healthy shape now for sure. That's one wonderful thing of Jupiter because being in the second house, aspecting the sixth house, you're going to get victory in all the matters of the sixth house. So that's some good news for you. So you might even get up into a very good shape right now because all your health issues would be more or less taken care by Jupiter. It shouldn't be a problem going forward. The second aspect of Jupiter to your eighth house, now that's also one of the bad houses. So the sixth houses and eighth houses are not so good houses, but when you have a Jupiter glancing both these houses, you can rest assured that all the problems in these two houses are going to come down to a great extent. So eighth house is a house of sudden gains. It also has sudden losses as one of its karakas, but Jupiter looking, you can look forward in these directions of having some quick sudden gains. If there is some inheritance which has been pending for long, so this is a time. So since it's in the house of family and looking to the house of inheritance, just make sure that there might be some family inheritance or some wills which might be coming in your way. Also, Jupiter looks at the eighth house. The eighth house is also the house of longevity or your lifespan, and Jupiter looking is very auspicious. So rest assured, it's going to be a very good glance to the eighth house. So something which you need to might look out, or you might have come across these experiences as well. And the last house Jupiter is aspecting is your 10th house. So 10th house is a house of a career, your job, your reputation, and the income or the money which you earn with through your job. So when Jupiter looks into a 10th house, that's an auspicious transit. It's looking from the house of finance. So there is possibility of earning money through a job. So you might get another job, or you might switch jobs, or if you have been without a job for a pretty long time, this is a time where you might get that job opportunity. So Saturn would have made your 7.5 years pretty tough. So in case you have lost your job during that period, so this is a time where you might get a new job, a better career, and also your public reputation is also going to be on the high. So these are some of the good aspects of Saturn which is going to help you till November 2020. So make use of this transit to the utmost benefit. Both Jupiter and Saturn are in a pole position for you. It's a double combo. And Scorpio folks, this is a time for you to break your shackles and actually move forward with optimism. So all in all, so both your Saturn transits as well as the Jupiter transits is going to be a double combo for you because both of them are looking very good. And Scorpio folks, I would like to reiterate the main thing which you have to do is that just remove of your pessimistic mind. So this is a time, pessimistic mindset rather. This is a time for you to surge ahead, to expand, to be more aggressive in achieving your goals. So if you go in the narrative of that reason, there's pretty much you can make very well of this particular transit. So that's something which Scorpio folks, it's your time of the year. I wish you a happy new year as well. So have a wonderful time and make use of this transit to the maximum. So that's all for Scorpio folks, and thank you so much, viewers, for watching my video and my YouTube channel. So, in case you do like my video, please do subscribe to my channel for more such interesting videos on the Saturn transit. Thank you so much for watching my YouTube channel. Have a great day ahead.